Hey guys, welcome to another video of MaxiAspie, and today guys I'm going to be talking about quite a common thing I believe in autism, and it's autism and haircuts. So when I was growing up I didn't like haircuts particularly. I didn't like the feeling of trimmers on my hair. It felt painful. It still does now, but over the years I have got used to it. However, there were some things that my mum tried when I went to the barbers and used to have to get my hair cut. Again, I didn't really like it, didn't like to be sat still, didn't like the trimmers. It actually was quite painful, didn't like in the busy environment, didn't like any of it, to be quite honest. So today guys, I'll be talking about 10 things that if you still find it difficult to have haircuts, that will help now, but also for parents out there who are getting their children to go to the barber shop who are autistic. It's going to be very difficult as well from a young age, because then that stems into adulthood as well, and the quicker you can put something in place to make it easier for them, the better. So guys, this is 10 things, 10 tips that will help with autism and haircuts. So number 1, introduce your child gradually to the hairdresser and the barber shop, even if it means visiting while the parent is having the haircut, or a friend or a sibling. It can really actually help get to know the hairdresser, get to know the person who's cutting your hair. And I think that's key as well, is finding that hairdresser, finding that place that you are always going to go to, because at the end of the day it's about routine. I know a lot of hairdressers out there, they're very busy, they're very compact. Whoever's free will cut your hair, but it's really important from an autistic point of view that you have the same hairdresser, the same place, because then you can build that routine and you trust that person that's cutting your hair, and you know that they're going to look after you, and that's really important. So by doing that, by going with a sibling, 1, it gets them to the first step of going, 2, it gets them to meet the hairdresser who will eventually cut their hair, and 3, it gets them used to the environment that they're in. Number 2, again, it's all about routine and that change. So prepare the person for that hairdressing appointment. They mark it in the calendar with a symbol that they're going to recognise, that they're going to know, because again, it will build up and build up and build up to the day where hopefully they feel more comfortable going, and it's not a sudden drastic change, it's not a sudden drastic decision that you've suddenly just come out with. So that's really important. Along with that as well, when you're booking the appointment, it's always better to do it when it's a quiet time, so they won't have the sensory overload, they won't have the people around them, they won't have that busy environment. And that's really key as well, is making sure you find the quiet time where you can do it. Number 3, and this can be a tricky one, finding an understanding hairdresser. Again, one of the things that I do, all the speeches I do, is trying to get people to understand autism and how it can affect people. A simple thing like a haircut can be quite distressing, can be quite traumatic for somebody with autism, even to the point where they will worry and have anxiety about it the days before the actual appointment. People even find it difficult to step foot in a barber shop, so it's important that we recognise that. And that's why it's important to find an understanding hairdresser. And the only way you're going to get them to understand is by talking to them, or as a parent talking to them as well, and explaining the condition and how it may affect your child, or how it may affect you as an individual. Give them some tips, give them some advice on how it's going to be beneficial for them and how it's going to be easier for them, but also easier for you, which is the most important thing. Number 4, use a timer before the actual hairdressing, so they can see that progression of their haircut. They know when they started, they know how long it's going to take, they know where the start and the finishing is. It can really help that your child knows how long it's going to last for. I think as children anyway, we can be impatient and we can't wait just to get out and get it done with. But for someone with autism, they're going to be feeling the anxiety, they're going to feel the pain of the trimmer, and it's about letting them know how long it's going to last, how long they can withstand that kind of pain, for them to have their haircut. Number 5, use social stories as a distraction. And what I mean by that is tell a story while they're getting their haircut, or even tell them a story on the way to the hairdressers, just a distraction that's going to make them not worry, not get anxious about the situation. The more you can distract them, and more you can tap into their interests and tap into the things that they want to talk about, they'll actually find that it's not that bad, and it's just about a distraction. Number 6, so many people with autism hate the sound of the clippers, which then can make the sensory of of all of it a lot worse. My advice is bring ear defenders, bring ear headphones, listen to music, anything again that's going to block out that noise. You can ask your hairdresser if they've got any ear defenders, or you can just bring your own as well. Again, it's a good distraction. Let them listen to music is always a good one. It can really take their mind off what's going on, and it also blocks out the noise. Number 7, a small reward. I always feel positive reinforcement is always good. So after they've had their haircut, there's a reward for them. Some people agree with the reward and some people don't, but a simple lollipop to me isn't like a far-fetched idea. Well done, you've done really well, can't wait to see you next time, or whatever, and every time you come you're going to get this for being good and doing it. It's just that positive reinforcement that makes them go, oh, that wasn't actually that bad, or oh, I'm getting better at that. And it's just what they get at the end of it as well will make them want to do it, because they're getting this positive reinforcement, which is really, really good. Number 8, make sure they're comfortable as possible. I've seen hairdressers, for instance, people in America will have sometimes a child on the floor and they're cutting their hair, or having the mums sit in the chair, or anything like that. It can really help. Just make sure that they're comfortable, make sure that they're comfortable with you, make sure they're comfortable where they are, even walking about. I've seen some hairdressers cut their hair while they're walking about, which again, people will think, oh my god, but that's their way of distracting, that's the way of getting their hair cut. And a lot of people will be thinking, really? People go to all this effort? But trust me, it's hard. It's really hard for somebody with autism getting their hair cut. So, that's another thing. Make sure they're comfortable. Number 9, so getting back to making sure they're comfortable, some parents have found that it's easier to just let their child sit on their lap and let the hairdresser cut their hair while hugging them and watching something on a tablet or anything like that. Again, the distraction, the comfort, but also someone that you trust, and there's no one you're going to trust more than your parent. So those are 3 things there that really give that safe environment vibe to a child getting their hair cut. Obviously it can get harder growing up, because you can't do that, but make sure you bring someone with you. Make sure someone is there that you trust, someone you feel comfortable with, somebody that is going to say, okay, that's fine, or this isn't, and just make sure you've got someone there that you trust that's going to be supportive. And number 10, just a simple flip chart can really help. Now you're probably thinking, how can a flip chart help? So a simple sequence of pictures can really just help somebody know the stages and also warn them of what's going to happen before it does. People with autism are very good and pick up more with visuals more than sound. So if you put a picture in front of them, they're more likely to pick up that visual concept of what's going on rather than being told it. It's a bit like when we're writing instructions down. They need to be clear, but the visual aspect of the instruction is more for somebody with autism will understand that more than someone saying it to them. So if you've got a simple flip chart or tick box or whatever you want to do, of that process, it will make it easier for them to go through their haircut and know what stage they're at. So parents or people out there who have got autism that struggle having their haircut, please put all your tips back down below as well. There's going to be loads of people hopefully that watch these videos that are going to be interested to see what other people do, and it's really important we comment what we do because it might help somebody else. So guys, give me a like if you like the video, subscribe for more videos, and guys, thank you for watching. Take care and goodbye for now.